or citta in Pali and its power. I cut off the speech because in my topic I focus much not only on the speech but the definition and the nature of citta. So that you can follow easily what I'm speaking, I use the projector so that while I'm reading my article, you can follow word by word. So mind is English equivalent for the term citta in Pali. And in that word, citta is from the word cinteti, to think, which means to think. All cittas or all mind have in common that they think of an object, or being conscious of an object, or cognizing an object. So if we want to say what is mind, so mind is what we cognize an object, we can say. Citta performs different functions of citta. For example, seeing is a function of citta. When we see different colors, the eyes themselves do not see. The eyes are only a condition for the arising of seeing, which is a citta. So we shouldn't say that the eye see, but the eyes are only the condition for seeing, but seeing that is a citta. When sound impinges on the ear, the sound and the ear do not experience anything. The ear is not citta. The Dhamma, which hears the sound, which experiences the sound, is citta. Buddhaghosa, the greatest commentator in Pali literature, established 4 meanings for citta. 1. Citta is so called because it thinks cinteti of an object. It clearly knows an object on account that it presents itself in a series by way of a perception in a thought process. 2. Citta is so called because it is result, vipaka, conditioned by accumulated or citta karma and defilements. That is, it reaps what it sows. In this meaning, it is regarded as a storehouse holding mental seed in the forms of mental dispositions, proclivities, tendencies, and latent forces. Number 3, citta is so called because it's variegated, vidita, according to circumstances. Citta is variegated because it experiences different objects, and because of the accompanying cetasikas or Viditadhammas. For example, when it experiences sound or forms or taste, so it becomes variegated, not the same all the time. And when it is accompanied by kusala cetasika, it becomes kusala. When it is accompanied by akusala cetasika, it becomes akusala. So it is variegated. Number 4, citta is so called because of its capacity of producing a diversity citta of effects. So this definition taken from Lanka and Akasalini. Citta can experience any kind of object, no matter how varied and intricate it may be. Citta experiences Paramathathamas as well as concepts, panyati, and it knows words denoting concepts. It knows words used in different languages. It knows names and it thinks of many different stories. Thus, citta is variegated because of the objects which are variegated. There are general characteristics. We call samanya lakkhana of unconditioned realities, or we call the sankhara. Namely, the 3 characteristics of anicca, dukkha, and anatta. It means that all the composings or Viditadhamma have these 3 characteristics. It is called general characteristic, anicca, dukkha, and anatta. Therefore, citta also has these three general characteristics. Besides, citta has its own specific characteristic, and we call it in Pali Saffava Lakkhana. We read in the Attasalini. Attasalini is a commentary of the Dhamma Sankani, the first book of the Abhidhamma Pitaka. And so in the book 1 of the Attasalini, it is said about the specific characteristic, function, manifestation, and proximate cause of citta. First, its characteristic is cognizing an object. No other Dhamma or nature can know anything, including themselves. But citta can know everything possible, including cittas themselves. You see, rupas cannot know anything. Cetasika also, with the help of, when they accompany with citta, they can do. And then the function. Citta always leads other nama dhamma and rupa dhamma. Its function is being a foreigner, precursor. It is like a town guard sitting at crossroads in the middle of town. He knows each townman or visitor who comes. That is the object. That it is a chief or leader in knowing an object. And about the manifestation. A citta arises. It passes away immediately after its arising. Another citta arises, and again it falls away. Next arises and dies out immediately. This kind of uninterruptedness is a manifestation of citta. There are immediate causes for arising of citta. They are citta themselves, nama rupa, and rupa dhamma. So the proximate cause, we say the proximate cause of citta is nama, dhamma, and rupa dhamma. Citta is a conditioned dhamma. Some kind, you know that there are three kinds of conditioned dhamma. First is citta, the second is cetasika, and the third is rupa. So conditioned dhammas cannot arise singly, and thus citta does not arise without accompanying cetasikas. In the planes of existence where there are 5 khandhas, citta is dependent on nama dhamma as well as rupa dhamma as proximate cause for its arising. But in the plane where there is only nama, for example, in the arupa Brahma planes, citta has as proximate cause for its arising only nama dhamma, or we say cetasikas. All of us are thinking time and again. If we notice that we are thinking and carefully investigate this, we shall see that we are really quite occupied with thinking. That we think for a long time of a variety of things. We cannot prevent thinking, it goes on and on. Many Samaneris come and complain to me that why when they were meditating, they keep continue thinking, and then sometimes they cannot stop. So this is the nature of citta, because it is the reality with things, different from rupa. Rupa cannot think. Here I want to say about the 3 aspects of citta. In the Encyclopedia of Buddhism, it is said that the cetana clearly is the causative form of citta, because you can see that we have the verb chinteti, and then ceteti transform into che, and then cetayanti, and from the verb cetayanti comes to the noun cetana. And then the effective aspect, the Vedana referring to the feeling tone of citta. And the cognitive aspect, it means sanya, is concerned with knowing, believing, reasoning, and perceiving. Then the cognitive aspect, Chetana, is concerned with acting, willing, striving, and desiring. So we see that there are three functions inside Chitta. We call feeling function, then perceiving function, and acting function. But these three aspects do not function separately. As mental processes, all three aspects operate all at once by way of concurrent action and interaction. Cognition is associated with cognition, that in turn is bound up invariably with the hedonic quality of feeling. So this one is quoted from the Encyclopedia of Buddhism, volume 4, page number 170. Now we speak of the aramana, object of the mind, of Chitta. When Chitta arises, it experiences something, and that which is known by Chitta is called aramana, or object. The Pali term aramana or alambana refers to that which Chitta knows. When Chitta arises and sees what appears through the eyes, that is the object of Chitta at that moment. When Chitta arises and hears sound, sound is the object of Chitta at that moment, etc. Whenever there is Chitta, there must each time be an object together with the Chitta. When Chitta arises, it must experience an object. There cannot be a Chitta which does not know anything. There cannot be just Chitta, the Dhamma which knows something, without an object that which is known by Chitta. So, because the definition of Chitta is that which knows an object. So, there is not any Chitta without an object. Chitta, the reality that knows an object, does not only exist in Buddhism or in the human world. The Chitta which sees or hears, etc., is a Paramattathamma. It is universal and does not belong to anyone. If someone conceives the idea of this person sees or that being hears, it is due to the outward appearance and to his memory. Outward appearance means that I see, I hear, but there is no I or any person there, only the hearing or the seeing. If there were no outward appearance or no memory, he would not conceive the Chitta which sees as this person sees, or the Chitta which hears as that being hears. No matter which being or which person sees, the Chitta which arises and sees can only see what appears through the eyes. The Chitta which hears can only hear sound. The Chitta which sees cannot experience sound, and the Chitta which hears cannot experience what appears through the eyes. You know, it has each Chitta, each consciousness has its own kind of object. We cannot say that I hear with my eye, or you can say that I see with my ear, because it is paramatta. It is not under your control to decide use which one to receive which object. It is not in anyone's power to alter the characteristic and the nature of a Paramattathamma. The Chitta, a Paramattathamma, which arises and cognizes an object, can arise because there are the appropriate conditions for its arising. If there are no conditions, Chitta cannot arise. If, for example, sound does not arise and impinge on the ear sense, the Chitta which hears cannot arise. If odor does not arise and impinge on the smelling sense, the Chitta which experiences the odor cannot arise. The different types of Chitta can only arise because there are conditions which are appropriate for the arising of those types of Chittas. And in the Viditadhamma, it is said that there are 89 different types of citta, or in special cases, 121 types of citta. And for the arising of these types, there is not just one condition, but several conditions. For example, with the citta which sees this for its arising, the condition which is the eye, the rupa with its eye sense, and the rupa with its visible object or color that will appear through the eyes. So that is a definition of the term citta. Now we can go to the next part, nature of citta. The nature of citta is difficult to be seen and understood, and it is very subtle, very hard to control, surely light and quick, and attaching itself to whatever it creates, as it is said in the Dhamma. So I quoted here some verses. Vandanam chapalam citang dudrakam dunni varayam. Dhammapada verse number 33. Which means the flickering, fickle mind, difficult to get, difficult to control. Then dunni gahasa lahuno yatha kamani patino. Dhammapada verse 35. The mind is hard to check, sweet, fleece wherever it lies. And then sudut dasam sudipunam yatha kama nipatinam. Dhammapada verse 36. The mind is very hard to perceive, extremely subtle, fleece wherever it lies. And in case of the worldling, it is consciously frightened, terrified, and alarmed, as well as agitated, flurried, and anxious. For example, in the verse 34 from Dhammapada, Varijo tale kito, o kamo kata uppato, parifandati midam citang, maratayang pahatave. The meaning is, like a fish that is drawn from its watery abode and thrown upon land, even so does this mind flutter. Hence the rank of the passion should be shunned. Citta, in the Buddhist view, is thus a series of events in an incessant process of meditation. As to its nature, the citta or mind of the worldly individual is, psychologically speaking, constantly stopping, trembling, and wavering. Ethically, it is exceedingly difficult to be protected and to be saved from falling into moral lapse. And naturalistically, it quivers like a fish out of water, distracted by a multiplicity of stimuli. Now we go to the next part, the split of mind. Even the Buddha felt difficult in describing the split of mind, saying, I consider, monks, that there is no phenomenon that comes and goes so quickly as mind. It is not easy to find simile to show how quickly mind comes and goes. This quotation is from Anguttara Nikaya, volume 1, page number 10. In the Dhammapada also, it is said, Durangamam ekacharam asariram guhasayam. Verse number 37. Mind can travel afar. It wanders alone. It has no material form, and it generally dwells in the cave. The mind does not move physically away like a man walking, but it can take in an object at a distance far away from where you are. It seems as if it has gone there. For example, now we are here in KL, Kuala Lumpur, and think of something or someone in Hanoi. Your mind does not actually travel to Hanoi, but register is aware in heart of Hanoi while still in here. So no plane can fly faster than mine, right? Oh, in 1 second, now you can see Hanoi. You can see someone there. Huh? As it can perceive an object as a distance, it is said mind can travel afar. Consciousness appears and vanishes very strictly. More than 1 million, or we can say 1,000 billion units of consciousness can appear and vanish within one snap of fingers. The appearance and vanishing are so swift that 2 or 3 units of consciousness seem to be able to arise and perceive 2 or 3 objects at the same time. As a matter of fact, 2 or 3 units of consciousness never appear at the same time. If you learn Viditadhamma, at one time only one mind. They appear one after another, and only after taking one object do they take another object. But while sitting on a sanded bed, eating and watching singers and dancers, we notice that there are 5 sense objects present, namely sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. The mind does not take in these 5 objects all at the same time. Only after perceiving the object we prefer most do we perceive other objects one after another. Thus, 2 or 3 or many units of consciousness do not appear at the same time. Consciousness appears one at a time, so it is said, mind wanders solitary. Moreover, the word wander here does not mean real going about, but means it can take in an object at a faraway location. In perceiving a sense object, a single unit of consciousness is not enough for full comprehension. A good number of units of consciousness it is required to appear one after another in succession. As many billions of such units can appear and vanish within one snap of fingers, we think that we perceive a form as soon as we see it. We know a sound as soon as we hear it, or we sense an aroma as soon as we smell it, or we feel a touch as soon as we come into contact with it. As consciousness appears and vanishes very quickly, the good and the bad, or the wholesome and the wholesome units of consciousness mingle even in a short time. Getting up early in the morning, you pay homage to the Buddha and acquire a good mind. At that time, when you hear someone calling you to go shopping, you develop greed. Right? Now, as someone comes and says something provocative, then you tend to get angry very quickly. Even when you are involved in rich while doing some trading, if you happen to think of giving in charity, that is a wholesome talk of a Satan, or belief in beneficial effects of charity. When you are angry with someone or something, you happen to remember your teacher's advice or admonition, then good mindfulness appears again. So we can see the mingling of unwholesome and wholesome very big. And that I remember in the previous lesson, I also tell you about to be cautious when you see someone killing a fish. Then you think that you feel very uneasy, and you feel hatred towards that person who killed. But you think that because you have compassion. But at that time you have two kinds of mind. One kind is compassion towards the being killed, and the hatred towards the person who kills. So there is a mingling of kusala and akusala chittas here. But if we are not careful and subtle enough, we cannot recognize. So, as consciousness changes very quickly, you should carefully differentiate between good and bad units of consciousness whenever they appear, and try to cultivate many units of wholesome consciousness. And now, because mind is so quick, we should tame the mind. Our mind should be tamed. There are many reasons why we should tame our minds. We ourselves know best the weakness and the feebles of our minds. Even though some wicked people attain high status in worldly affairs, if they are mean or based in moral character, they will be reborn in lower abode in their next existences. For this reason, they should tame their minds and become noble. We cannot pretend to be noble, even though we have very high position. So we must be noble in the mind, then we are real noble. Moreover, the quit will be quit not only in this present existence, but their evil nature will continue to prevail successively in a great many future existences. Because their entire physical and mental continuum have been suffused with wicked minds, it is impossible for them to attain sufficiency in accumulating virtues. Therefore, for fear of not becoming mature in paramis or professions, they should discipline their wicked minds immediately. These are the reasons why people should tame their minds. Because if you don't cleanse your mind to remove all the bad things, then you cannot get the pure things. The idea of watching over the citta is vividly uttered in verse by the Devas of the pure abode, that is the supreme heaven of the Rupaloka, the Brahma world. Being is lowest. The Deva verse runs like this: the brethren have made straight their hearts, brought up to concentration dropped, wisely their faculties they got, as rather keeping grip on brain. Here the citta, as his zero character, is subject to the act of straightening, which is the measure employed to keep at bay the surreptitious crookedness of citta. Because you know that our citta is very surreptitious, cheating. Surreptitious is cheating. And trueness, not straight, trueness like this, like an arrow. So we know the crookedness of our citta, then we have to straighten it. Here is an example how King Milinda disciplined his mind. Having asked the Venerable Nagasena some questions, King Milinda thought of asking more questions which would be very important for the sasana or the teaching of the Buddha. However, he waited for 7 days and disciplined his mind to get concentration. What does he do? He rose early in the morning, took a bath, attired himself in a dyed yellow dress, and put on a headdress, concealing his hair to resemble a shaven head. In other words, he attired himself like a bhikkhu, though he was not one, and observed meticulously the following 8 principles for 7 whole days. Those are the 8 principles. I will not perform regal duties for 7 days. I will restrain myself from raga or greed. I will restrain myself from dosa or hatred. I will restrain myself from moha or illusion. I will be humble and modest in dealing with my subjects and courteous and restrain myself from conceit. I will carefully restrain my words and actions. I will restrain my sense organ, that is, eyes, ears, etc., to be free from unwholesome thoughts when seeing, hearing, and experiencing such objects. I will radiate loving kindness to all living beings. He observed these 8 principles for 7 days. And on the 8th day, he rose early in the morning, and in a cheerful, cool, and calm attitude, he asked the Venerable Nagasena questions on the profound Dhamma. Following the example of King Milinda, good people should often practice restraining their minds, even if it is for 1 or 2 days, or for just one morning, so that evil thoughts that habitually arise shall not appear. By repeated practice of restraining their minds, evil thoughts will get diminished and they will become noble and virtuous with development of faith and knowledge. Evil thoughts that usually occur will not appear for many days. The citta in general should be kept away from all kinds of evil actions and channeled in earnest into good direction. The first verse of the Phap in the Dhammapada says, "Make haste in doing good, check your mind from evil, for the mind of him who is slow in doing meritorious action delights in evil." Verse number 160. Papa, evil, is that which defies one's mind, and punya, opposite, is a merit that which cleanses the mind. Kusala is another term for punya. Another passage from the Dhammapada explains the pleasant freedom from Mara of the man who checks his citta from evil. Whoso will keep under control from Maya jail, let us be set free. Dhammapada verse number 37. So that is how to tame the mind and the benefit of taming the mind. Now we come to the power of mind. In his article, "Harness Your Mind, Power to Heal and Transform," Dr. Deepak Chopra says, have you heard about Dr. Deepak Chopra? Yes. He's very famous scientist. He's a medical doctor, and at the same time, he's also a spiritualist. So in his article, he said, "Consider that in this very moment, your body is changing and is reshuffled, and it changes its atoms and molecules with the rest of the universe. And you are doing it faster than you can change your clothes. In fact, the body you are using right now, as you read this article, is not the same body you woke up with, or even the same body that you had a few minutes ago. The 50 trillion cells in your body are constantly talking to each other as they keep your heart beating, digest your food, eliminate toxins, protect you from infection and disease, and carry out the countless other functions that keep you alive. While these processes may seem out of your conscious control, hundreds of studies have shown that nothing holds more power over the body than the mind. In the sutras, the Buddha also says, the mind guides the world. The mind leads the world. All beings have to submit to the will of the mind. This is quoted from Anguttara Nikaya and Samyutta Nikaya. The citta, which performs varied actions, is the condition for diverse effects in the future. There will be diverse effects by ways of place of birth, sex, outward appearance, possessions, honor, well-being, pain, praise, or blame. We should be aware of the characteristic of the citta, which is appearing now, which is painting or creating on the realities which will arise in the future. You know, that is the power of mind. It will create our future. In the Digha Nikaya, there is a passage that reads, there are present certain gods called the debauched in mind. Debauched here means the notorious, bad in behaviors. Mano Badosika Namadev. They burn continually with envy, one against another, and being thus irritated, their hearts become ill-disposed towards each other, and being debauched, their bodies become feeble and their minds weak, and those gods form from that state. Here, the verb here is padutta citta. In the original Pali, that mind, that corrupt mind, is called padutta. So padutta here is a past participle of the verb padussati, which means made bad, spoiled, corrupt, wicked, and antonymous to apadutta. So in this case, Padutta Chitta is rendered as the debauched mind. The evil states of Chitta afflict negatively on the whole individual, not only mind but also the body. With such a Padutta Chitta, one cannot discern properly what is beneficial and what is harmful for himself, for others, or for both sides. The Buddha figuratively explained this point by comparing it with one disturbed pool of water. He said, suppose, monks, a pool of water, turbid, stirred up and muddied. Then a man who has eyes to see stands upon the bank. He could not see the oysters and the shells, the pebbles and the gravel as they lie, or the shoals of fish that dart about. Why not? Because of the turbid state of the water. This is quoted from the gradual saying. On the other hand, the Pasanna Chitta is compared with the serene water. But suppose, monks, a pool of water, pellucid, tranquil and unstirred. Then a man who has eyes to see, while standing on the bank, could see the oysters and the shells, the pebbles and the gravel as they lie, and the shoals of fish that dart about. Why so? Because of the untroubled nature of the water once. This is also from the gradual saying, volume 1. The following passage expresses that the Padutta Chitta begets heavy punishment of going into the debased realms after death. So only when the mind is spoiled, is corrupted, it can lead to the hell. That is what the Buddha said. Now here, monks, with my own thought, embracing his, I am aware of a monk whose mind is corrupt. If at this very time he were to make an end, he would be put into hell, according to his desires. Why so? Because of his corrupt mind. In like manner, monks, it is owing to a corrupt mind that some beings in this world, when body breaks up after death, are reborn in the waste, the woeful way, the downfall in hell. And this is quoted from the gradual sayings, volume 1, page number 6. In many cases, the Buddha declares that he himself does not see any other Dhamma that produces more benefit than the Chitta being tamed does. For example, this quotation, monks, I know not of any other single thing that brings such bliss as the mind that is cultivated, made much of. Such a mind indeed brings great bliss. Monks, the mind that is tamed, controlled, guarded, and restrained, conduces to great profit. This is quoted from gradual saying, or you can say Anguttara Nikaya, volume 1, page number 5. In another situation, the Buddha says, in him, brethren, who dwells with the faculty of sight control. Faculty of sight control means you control your 5 sense organs, eye, ear, tongue, nose, and body. Yeah? So it is faculty of sight control. The heart is not corrupted by object recognizable by the eye. In him, whose heart is not corrupted, delight is born. In one delighted, joy is born. When one is joyful, the body is calm. He whose body is calm feels at ease. Composed is the heart of him who is at ease. When the heart is composed, one's ideas are clear. Through having clear ideas, one is reckoned as one who dwells earnest. And this is quoted from the Kindred Sayings or Samyutta Nikaya, volume 4. So it is apparent that the states of one Chitta control over his sense organs and sense faculties. The better the control is done, the more positive is the general state is. One type of mind that is considered very powerful is metta. You know, it is usually rendered as loving kindness. It is the first state of citta among the four bodily states of appamanya. They are metta, loving kindness, karuna, compassion, mudita, altruistic or sympathetic joy, and upekkha, equanimity. And we have the practice of metta bhavana. Metta bhavana is cultivating the heart of love and is standardized as the necessary condition in approaching towards sainthood. Arya. If we want to become Arya Pukkala, we need to practice metta. This state of citta is quality of mind in contrast with anger and ill will, and is synonymous of mental emancipation. In other words, metta citta is identical with emancipation of citta. Why? Metta citta is a citta open towards others and in somewhat denying its own concern, and the denial goes to a certain extent, then it comes to be one's emancipation from self-thought. Sometimes out of metta, you can sacrifice yourself for the benefit of other beings. That's why we can have emancipation from self-thought. Therefore, the identification of metta citta and the specified emancipation. The metta citta, being so strongly recommended by the Buddha as above explanation, seem to have another cause. It is that which produces more merit than dana or giving does. If you practice metta, you don't need to spend any money, but you get more merit than dana. He advised the bhikkhus to develop it, practice it, take one stand upon it, store it up, thoroughly set it going, and make it a vehicle and a base. The passage in the Samyutta Nikaya reads, if anyone present is monks, were to give a morning, give 100 ukka. Ukka is I think that one unit of currency. And the same at noon, and the same at evening. And or if anyone were to practice a morning heart of love, at noon a heart of love, and in evening heart of love, even if it were as light as one pull at the cow's udder, this practice would be by far the more fruitful of the two. Because this one is the ancient language, in the simple language, if one morning give donation of 100 ukka, so we can say that $100, noon $100, evening $100. But it is less merit than one in the morning we practice full of metta, noon full of metta, and evening full of metta. The same idea is expressed in the following paragraph, excerpted from the Anguttara Nikaya. Monks, if for just the lasting of a finger snap, a monk indulges a thought of goodwill in metta, such a one is to be called a monk. Not empty of result is his meditation. He abides doing the master bidding. He is one who takes good advice, and he is the country's uncle to some purpose. What then should I say of those who make much such a thought? So you see that being monks and nuns, we live on the donation of the people. So most of us are worried that if we don't practice properly, we will be in debt, right? So how to pay this debt while we are still living as monks or nuns? This is the answer. If only for the lasting of a finger snap, practice metta, it is worthy to to eat the country's food. So if only one day we can practice some minutes of metta, loving kindness, it is enough to pay for the alms food that you can receive from the people. So this day did you practice metta? Yes. So don't worry. So taming the mind is also the method to enhance the power of mind. I would like to quote here some passages from Deepak Chopra and about how to harness the potentially unlimited power of mind in the same article. And this explanation is very scientific. That is why I would like to quote it here. To think is to practice brain chemistry. Every thought, feeling, and emotion creates a molecule known as neuropeptide. Neuropeptides travel throughout your body and hook onto receptor sites of cells and neurons. Your brain takes in the information, converts it into chemicals, and lets your whole body know if there's trouble in the world or cause for celebration. Your body is directly influenced as these molecules course through the bloodstream, delivering the energetic effect of whatever your brain is thinking and feeling. When you say, I have a sad heart, then you literally have a sad heart. If we looked inside your heart, we would find it affected by molecules that cause stress and damage, such as excessive amount of adrenaline and cortisol. If you say, I'm bursting with joy, a scientist could analyze your skin and find it loaded with neuropeptides that may have antidepressant effects and that may modulate the immune system. If you say, I feel exhilarated, unbounded, and joyful, and I want to examine your blood, I would find high levels of interleukin and interferon, which are powerful anti-cancer drugs. One of the keys to harnessing this potentially unlimited power of the mind is to expand your level of self-awareness. When your awareness is contracted, the flow of energy and information throughout your body-mind is hampered or obstructed. You tend to stay stuck in toxic emotions such as regret, resentment, and self-pity. Non-nurturing habits such as overeating and not exercising take hold. The feedback loop between your mind and your body turns negative, and stress can hit you instantaneously or grin away at you day after day. On the other hand, when you expand your awareness, your energy flows freely. You are more flexible, balanced, and creative. You view yourself and the world with more compassion and understanding. You have more energy and are open to new possibilities. At this level of awareness, you have all the power you could possibly need to create a new reality, a reality of vibrant health and well-being. Unquoted. So this is a quotation from the article by Dr. Deepak Chopra. You see, it is very persuasive, very clearly explaining the relationship, the effect of the mind on the body. And if we know this, we must be careful with any idea of our mind. All schools of Buddhism agree on the primacy of citta in this respect, and the most powerful citta may be said to be the six avinyas. You can say the supernatural or supernormal powers. So what are they, the six avinyas? First, iddhivita, or magical powers, or levitation. Levitation means flying up. Two, divine or heavenly ear or clairaudience. 3. Cheto pariya jnana, penetration of the mind of others, or knowing others' thought or thought reading. 4. Dikpachaku, divine eye, or recollecting one's previous births. Number 5. Puppe nivasanusati, remembrance of former existences or knowing others people's births. And 6. Asarakaya, extinction of all cankers or certainty of emancipation already attained or final assurance. The text made within all the 4 sutta collection. So here are what the sutta described in detail, the 5 kinds of supernormal powers. The first one, now all bhikkhus, the monk, enjoy the various magical powers, iti pavita, such as being one, he becomes manifold. And having become manifold, he again becomes one. You remember the story of Chula Pantaka, right? Before that, he could not remember even one sentence. But after the teaching of the Buddha, he got enlightened, and he also got the itivita. So, when the Buddha was away for the Dhamma at someone's house, he said that, oh, now Chula Pantaka is absent, send someone to invite him for Dhamma. Then that man come to the monastery. He want to find Chula Pantaka, but he saw thousands of Chula Pantaka. But he doesn't know who to be invited. So he came back to the Buddha and asked, so I saw so many monks, not only one. They said that, but then the Buddha said that you come and said, I invite Chula Pantaka, you announce, then only one Chula Pantaka will come. So this is very powerful. From one can transform into many man-made bodies. He appears and disappears. Oh, now here you cannot got someone with the magical power. Right here now, no more. You cannot see them in front of your eyes. They disappear. Without being obstructed, he passes through worms and mountains, just as if through the air. In the earth, he dies and rises up again, just as if in the water. He walks on water without sinking, just as if on the earth. Crossless, he floats through the air, just like a winged bird. With his hand, he touched the sun and the moon, these almighty ones, so powerful ones. Even up to the Brahma world, he has mastery over his body. It means that he can fly to the Brahma world. So that is the first one, itivita. The second one, with the divine ear, he hears sounds, both heavenly and human, far and near. For us, we hear only human and only near. We cannot hear far, we cannot hear heavenly sounds. Number 3, he knows the minds of other beings, of other persons, by penetrating them with his own mind. He knows the greedy mind as greedy, and the not greedy one as not greedy, knows the hated mind as hating, and the not hating one as not hating, knows the deluded mind as deluded, and the not deluded one as not deluded, etc. Like the part we learned in the Satipatthana Sutta. So it means that you cannot pretend before this person. You pretend to be very calm, but inside your mind is not calm, and he knows. And then number 4, he remembers manifold former existences, such as 1 birth, 2, 3, 4, 500,000 births. Remembers many formations and dissolution of words. There I was, surname I had, etc. And vanishing from there, I entered into existence somewhere else, and also surname I had, etc. And vanishing from there, again I reappeared here. Thus he remembers, always together with the marks and peculiarities, many a former existence. Number 5, with the divine eye, the pure one, he sees beings vanishing and reappearing, low and noble ones, beautiful and ugly ones, sees how beings are reappearing according to their list. These beings in this followed evil ways in bodily actions, words and thoughts, insulted the noble ones, held evil views, and according to their evil views, they acted. At the dissolution of their body after death, they have appeared in lower worlds, in painful states of existence, in the world of suffering, in hell. Those other beings, however, are endowed with good action, etc., have appeared in happy states of existence in the heavenly world. So you see that at that time of the Buddha, when someone passed away, the Buddha can know who he will be reborn. And not only the Buddha, some arahants with this kind of supernatural power can also know. Except who? Except arahants who died. An arahant who dies, we cannot know who he is going, because he will be not reborn anymore. And number 6, through the extinction of all cankers, even in this very life, he enters into the possession of deliverance of mind, citta vibhuti, and deliverance through wisdom, panya vibhuti, after having himself understood and realized it. These 6 higher powers can be classified into 2 categories. The first 5 belonging to earthliness, and the last one to supermundane realm. You mean that the first 5? It means that magical power and divine in, divine eye. Even the ascetics outside Buddhism, the heretics, if they practice samadhi, they can also get these kinds of the first 5 super normal powers. But the last one, asavakkhaya, the extinction of all cankers, it is only limited to the vipassana meditation. So the first 5, it is the first 5 superpower is attainable through the mental concentration of samadhi. So if someone reaches the 4th jhana, they can practice and they can have this kind of 5 kinds of avinya. But the last one, asavakkhaya, the extinction of cankers, is attainable only through penetrating insight of vipassana. And only in Buddhism we have this kind of vipassana meditation. And this is, when we attain this, it also means that we realize arahantship. The Buddha is said to have claimed that he could do this either with his mind-made body or with his physical body of the 4 elements. For example, in the Nikaya, the Buddha crosses a river by simply disappearing from one bank and instantaneously appearing on the other. Have you read this sutta? So once the Buddha rarely used the super normal powers, but once he used to cross the river. And such powers, if one is to take them seriously, clearly involve remarkable mental control of matter. Whether this be the matter of one's own body or of objects passed through, for example. In discussing such powers, Buddhaghosa said that when, for example, diving into the earth usually only becomes water for the performer. But it can also become water for others too. It is written in Visuddhimagga. So now is the explanation how a person can perform these kind of supernormal powers. The late canonical text of the Patisamphidamagga goes into some detail on how the powers are developed. They require that a person has attained one of the meditative jhana states and has developed the 4 bases of psychic powers: concentration of desire, of energy, of thought, and of investigation. As seen above, these 4 states are listed in the Patthana as mental states which can originate rupa states. To develop the power of diving through the earth, the meditator attains meditative concentration by focusing on water. Then makes water appear where there is earth. To walk on water or fly, meditation is on earth, then earth is made to appear in water or the air. The implicit principle here is that by focusing on, investigating, and gaining knowledge of an element, for example, earth, one can gain power over it and change other elements into it. For example, if you have mastered on earth, then you can transform water into earth, you can transform air into earth, you can transfer heat into earth. So, because of the master of the element. The later tradition, though, holds that all physical matter contains all 4 primary elements, though in different intensity. Thus, to change water into earth, the solidity element in it becomes predominant rather than the cohesion element. This is another explanation, and it sounds very reasonable. You see that in the water, there are also the other 3 elements there, but it is less intense. So now we can change and we can make it become predominant. All this suggests that in the Buddhist view, the mind purified, calmed, and tuned by meditative concentration has great transformative power over matter, and that the physical world is not as stable as is normally seen. Its transformation is not seen as miraculous or supernatural, though just supernormal. It is done in a law-like way by drawing on the power of the meditative mind. There is a method to practice. And now I will come to conclusion. Chitta is advocated to be the core of one's personality, the center of understanding, of perceptual and cognitive activities, the possessor of knowledge of all types, ordinary or supermundane. Chitta is the center and focus of man's emotional nature, the constant center of activity, purposiveness, continuity, and emotionality. Chitta is the ideological leadership in man's mind, his character and personality. Chitta is a personal identity or surviving entity from existence to existence. Taming the mind is the sole purpose in practicing Buddhism. The mind, once tamed, will become so powerful that it is said, one who conquers the mind conquers the world. So with that, I end my Dhamma talk today.